Hey everyone, it's Cynthia here again. If you are watching this, then I'm glad you made it to the part 2 of the web UI animation series. If you haven't seen the part 1, make sure you go check that out. Today we'll be diving into After Effects and we'll be applying some of the animation techniques we learned on Protopie. It's gonna be really quick and fun. So let's get into this video. Okay, guys, we're back into After Effects, and what you want to do first is to create a new After Effects file, like I did. And this is what my After Effects workspace looks like. I do have two workspaces I like to work on. The mobile view, it's usually when I work on mobile screens, and the desktop, it's for desktop screens. And the default, it's also the desktop screen as well. On the left, this is how I organize my folders. I did have the 360 card folder created already, but I'll be showing how I would import the video in soon. So for the comps are sorry, these are just the folder of for the comp. I did create this comp for main render, and the cursor is what we'll be using pretty shortly. So I'm just gonna show you the composition settings. The quickest way to get there is to hit Control or Command K on your keyboard, and that brings it up. So I just named this main render, and for the width and height is actually the frame size we have on Figma. I'm using 1440 1024. But why it's showing like this, it's basically I double the resolution, so I do get a higher quality when we render out this video. So if you want to do it quickly, I just do 1440 times 2, and that just gives you the result. So for the frame rate, I use 25. For the resolution, has to be full. And for the duration, I'm using 40 seconds. Like I said earlier, guys, it's going to be a short one. And for the background color, it's what we have on a Figma as well. So just hit OK. And then just make sure everything is ready. And then we go back into Figma and export all of those things into After Effects. So let's do it. So this is the design that was made on Figma. I'm sure you guys have already seen this on the first part. What I'm gonna do before I import this, like I always say, is to rename the layers. I think I did it already. Just make sure you are renaming this. I'm gonna take off some things like the image here. I won't be needing this because we'll be using a video. Actually, an image sequence we already have. Remember the 48 images I showed you guys on Protopie. So that's what will be importing into After Effects as a sequence, which makes it a video. We'll be showing you how to do that pretty soon too. And yeah, I think we're good to go. We have our color tab, the car details, and we have the nav menu with the big heading. So the plugin I usually use to, I mean, it's what everyone uses, I guess, to export things out from Figma to After Effects is called uiux. I'll be linking that down in the description below. So if you want to check it out, make sure you do. That's what I usually do. So we just right click, go to plugins, you see development and uiux. I mean, you just have to, you're gonna have to set it up a little bit. I mean, it's not, I think they do have a tutorial, so it shouldn't be that complex to do. So I'm just gonna hit this, and you see the little box that comes up. It's gonna see send selection to After Effects. You also have options to export the reference image. I'm not gonna be checking that because I made this design. Me and my partner made this design already, so I kind of like know how everything is placed. But usually when I work on like more complex UI, I like to export the reference image as just guidance. So we would just hit these and set that inside. So sometimes it takes a while, but look, when you see this, it means it's in. So you're gonna see this pop up from this is my file explorer, and it's asking why I want to save the image to. I do have the folder created already, so make sure you create one. When you hit select folder, you're just gonna do this and bring in all of the image. You can see on the left panel here So AUX, it did even create the name for us, and we have images here. And every image we used on the design, it's just what's gonna come up there. So I'm just gonna organize this a little bit. I think you notice it's a bit messed up. So safe to say, I'm not sure AUX is still fully built because this thing could be really annoying when you export all of your stuff out from Figma into here, and then it's a little bit messed up. So what I have to do now is to manually fix them, but I'm not sure it's a lot, so I don't think it's gonna take us time to do it. But when I usually work on more screens, so imagine having up to 20 screens and making animation, it can be a pain in the ass. So just saying that. So before we proceed to fixing some of the elements we have there, I'm gonna organize the folders just a little bit. So we have the main render. It didn't even use it. It did bring in a new one. So I'm gonna get rid of this one I created. So for the Math.round configurator comp, I'm gonna put it inside there, and I want to take this whole folder out just like that, and I'll get rid of this one, and I'm just gonna close this one. I mean, we wouldn't be really needing this. Let's just still have it there, and I think we are good to go. So first thing, let me fix this. So if I zoom in, you notice some of this stuff is in center aligned, which can be really disturbing in the eye. Same thing here on the right. The CTA isn't, the text, this isn't. So what I'm gonna do is just to click this. So if you can see this on the bottom, why it looks like this is basically a group. So one thing I try to tell people, I mean, I'm telling you guys watching right now, is when you want to make animations on After Effects, sometimes it's better to have lesser groups or auto layout, so it kind of save you time to do that. Because when I double click this, you can see the amount of tabs opened up here is because of the groups we created on Figma. That's why it's just love pre-comps in here. So what I try to do sometimes, especially when I'm working on complex screens, I just take the original or design, duplicate them, and kind of like break it down. So instead of having this, what I just do is to make this into a two group and kind of like take out the group from here. I'm not going to be showing that here, but later in the future when I'm making a lot of screen, I'm going to show you how to break it down so you avoid doing all of these stuff we're about to do on After Effects. Yes, I watch just the Tyson and I'm a real fan. Goku. Actually, Gojo. Goku? Yeah, Gojo. Yeah, I love him. Okay, back to it. So let's fix these. So for this one, I'm just gonna hit the text. So you just have to click to when you get to the text. You click that, go to the align panel there on the left, and we just hit this center line. So most of this tool will be familiar to you because it's what we use to on Figma for designers out there. I know what I'm saying. And you click this. I'm gonna do the same thing for this button quickly. Oops. And just go to align and center this. The short way to get rid of the tabs at the bottom that you're not using is to hit Control Command W on your keyboard, and that just closes it out and you go back to the main screen. Just a shortcut. For some reason, when I highlight all of these, I don't know why it doesn't like multiple. When you multiple like select this, I don't know why it doesn't like apply what you want to do. I don't know if it's my After Effects, so I don't know if it's just what Adobe did, or it's really not cool. So I'm just gonna do this one by one. Thank God it's just 4. We do have though. Then close this. I think we're good to go on the nav for the text. So I'm just gonna click that in. And all I just have to do is, you see, you just click the edge and you just expand that, and that works. Well, I think the last thing we'll need would be for the color tab. Let me quickly do this. Oops. Click that, click, and wanna align this, and Control Command W and get rid of the tabs. And we're good to go. Okay, the last would be the selected button. I can see it's not center line. You can see how many tabs I've opened. That's what I'm saying about the group, guys. It's a pain. So I'm gonna close that out too. And we're good to go. Let me check if everything okay. I think the only thing I'm noticing is the rounded corners, because I believe we did apply some rounded corners on Figma, like this edge. So for the top left and the top right, we did have 50 on it. Just gonna go there quickly and see how to do this. So you click the color tab, we expand these. I believe this is the background. Let me check. This is the white background. So because After Effects don't have individual, you can set individual corners on here, unlike the way we do on Figma. What I'm just gonna do is expand this. So double click this and expand this a little bit, and using shift and the down arrow, I'm just gonna nudge this a little bit and stick it to here and expand this. Click this button and you're gonna find rounded corners. Expand this and we're gonna hit 50, and that just works for us there. Yeah, everything looks perfect. I mean, that worked because we stick this to the bottom. There are other ways to do it though. We could easily create a shape and use that as a max, and then we can set the corner for it. Okay, moving on. So the first thing we might want to do is to start importing this in, but hold on a second. I think the only thing I don't see here is that background big text we did have on Figma. It doesn't show. So this most of the problem with this plugin, like I was saying, that sometimes some things like work, some things just get messed up. So let me see if I could bring it back. If not, we might just have to create like a new one. Yeah, it's not even showing. I don't see it. So what I'm just gonna do is to get rid of this and go to Figma. Let's see what we use here. We're using this font, bold 320, and let's just do that manually. I believe I said CX. I don't know why I said. Let me just put that CX hybrid. That's what the text read. Let me quickly go back. So just gonna type that in. Hybrid. Click. Go on here and just look for the font. I believe it was bold and it was using 320. But 320 is not going to look big enough. Remember, we doubled the resolution. So what I'm going to do is just multiply this by 2, and that gives us what we want. Then line, just center this. When you see that, make sure you turn off your caps lock. Let me just put these in here and bring this down a little bit. I believe it was here. This is kind of looking really big though than what I had here. It's 320. Let's Let me take this down. Let's say 600. I think or 580. Yeah. And I think the opacity for this was let me just hit that the opacity isn't clicking was around I think 2. Yeah, it was 2.5. I'm just gonna say 3, but if we multiply this, it's gonna be 6. Or we can just make it 3 really, because it wasn't that obvious. Good, good, good. Now we have our big heading. Let me rename that to big text. And we move this behind because that's where it was. Cool, cool, cool. So the next thing I'm gonna bring in would be, I think the last thing I'm gonna bring in would be the 360 card we have. So I do have the front already. So what you're gonna hit is Control or Command I on your keyboard to bring it in. And remember this, I showed this on the part 1 of the tutorial. So we have 48 images. And all we just have to do is to hit the first one and make sure this is checked and it says PNG sequence, and we import that in and it just comes in like this. This basically means a sequence. So what I'm gonna do is to create a new component. No, not a new component, sorry. To create a new composition. I created a lot of components today at work and I'm just gonna probably see my head. Okay. Do that. We're gonna call this 360 car video. And we can just leave everything as it is. And I'm gonna bring that inside here. Oops. Bring this inside here, make this the fit. So you see it, if I play this, it's gonna rotate. So that's what the PNG sequence does. Well, this feels really small, so let me center this properly, and we're just gonna hit S on the keyboard to bring out a scale, and let's just bump this up a little bit. I would say about this is okay. We can always fix that in. So I come in here from the comp, I'm gonna drag in. Oops. Just gonna drag in this inside. What is wrong with this? Yep. Oops, I put it into twice. Yep, it's in there. So let's fit this. And I can center this and move it how I want. I kind of like it to be close to the edge of the big text. Let me put these down a little bit. Yeah, I think about here is right. You see this? Yeah, about here is right. It's going away because the second it's really short. So to fix that, let's make this the fit, and I'm gonna enable, let me just call this car. So we right click and we're gonna hit time. You're gonna see enable time remapping, and gonna extend this a little bit just so it stays and it doesn't go back. Maybe I don't want it to play yet. I could just put it around, let's say 6 seconds, and I'm gonna move this here for now. So we have this here and it doesn't go away. Maybe let's extend these even more to fit the end. So it never goes away. Yeah, we could do this for now. Yep. Okay, next thing we're gonna start doing like we did on Protopie is to take off everything from the screen and bring them in one by one. So let's start with the nav. Let me bring this just behind here and we just get started with the nav. So what I'm gonna do is just to hit P on my keyboard to bring that out. So we're starting with this. Let me expand this just a little bit. So I like to see it this way. Yeah, like 1 second. Put it here. Put that keyframe in. Go back to the first one, and I'm just gonna move it out like that. And what I'm gonna do, so I do have this if you notice the plugins I have here on the right. So Flow basically gives you some easing preset, and you can also save your store as well. I recommend getting this if you work on After Effects a lot. This is the must have plugin to kind of make your work and your life easy. Basically, I do have animation composer too. I think this is really cool for editing complex videos too as well. Motion 4, Kit, and Swift Knife. So these are like my go-to plugin I use to better myself in here. Okay, so I'm just gonna highlight these two. I usually like to use quad out, especially when I'm trying to bring things into the screen because it has the best easing. So I'm gonna do that, hit apply, and that just brings it in. So when I play this, you see, let me flip this to the screen. You see how smooth that came in. So one thing, if you guys don't have this, you can simply, let me take this off. So I do have a custom easing preset to I use, especially when I use I'm trying to ease things out, I believe, because we're bringing it inside the screen. So I'm just gonna highlight that. You can go to the graph editor, and I'm just gonna do this. So you grab that and you make sure the one on the right, the influence is at 100. Let me expand this so you see this. And I'm gonna grab this one, and I usually set the influence here at 15. So this really gives you the smooth easing too as well. You can see. So that works too. So this is an option if you don't have the plugin, you can use it. So 15 on the left side and 100 influence on the right side. That's the perfect easing preset you want to use when you bring things into the screen. But since I do have my plugin, I'm gonna delete that and just use mine. Okay, moving on, we're gonna do the same thing for the color tab. So hit P again, click that, move here. So on the first one, I'm gonna move it down and apply the same easing to it. So you see, it just makes things really fast. When you have these cool plugins, it makes your work really faster. So the next thing I do recall from the video is, okay, let me fade this out. I'm not gonna do much, but I believe we just hit this a little bit and we just brought it back. So I'm just gonna put this at the 0. I usually don't give this any easing curves to it because it's just a fade. I believe it's honestly it's just it doesn't really work to me. For the sake of keeping things clean here on the timeline, I'm just gonna give it the same thing, but you don't have to. And I want this not to come at the same time. So I want the nav menu and the color tab to come in, but I want this to take a while. So let's say around here. So when we see 12 here, this simply means half a second. I'm just gonna move that in here so it doesn't come at the same time. I think I do like this. So when this is settling, this comes in. You know what? I'm just gonna get rid of this because I feel it's slower when I don't have those using. And just make sure we're always saving the project. Very important. Control Command S at all time, guys. Keep that in mind. So the last thing we should do would be this. Would be the heading. Yeah, I think I did this a different way. I don't recall doing this on. Yeah, we did do this on Protopie, but I'm gonna be doing this a different way. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna separate all of this word into letters, individual letters, and then we're gonna delay it and give it sort of like an offset kind of animation so they all come in one at a time. So the plugin I use is Motion 4, and you can see when I go into here, I'm just gonna find, where is it? It's called text break. Gonna hit that. So if it's by words, you're gonna do if it's by line, but we don't have so much text, so it's gonna be letters, and I'm gonna hit that. That's that thing just get like, I don't know, really funny. So if you can see on the left here, we can see everything, it's like separated. So all of the words we use are all separated. And then for the bigness, we don't need it, but I do like to keep it just in case this get messed up. I could come back here and redo this again. So next thing I'm gonna do is add a math. And what I like to do is to create a shape layer here. Let me just center this. I'm gonna create a shape layer. Just hit this here. Just write about the size of the text. I think something like this, it's good. And I'm gonna put it just below this text here. And let's call this hidden. Hidden text. It could be anything, but this works for me. And what I'm gonna do is to hit this and go to Math Kit. So this is when this tool becomes useful. So what I'm gonna do is to store this layer, and I'm gonna select everything down to the last text. And what I'm gonna do is apply this stored layer. So when that happens, you're gonna come into the shape layer, and I'm just gonna hide this. So what this simply did is to create like a hidden, or it created like a map for us, but it's hidden. So if we click all of these and try to put these down, you can see it's hidden. Yeah, so this is when this plugin is really useful. So now that we have this, let's just proceed. I think when this happens, I want this to go back. I want this to kind of show around here, maybe after 1 second. So I'm gonna select everything, hit P, and that like selects everything. And let's say after 1 second, or let's see after 1 second, which is 2, then we hit the other one, and we go back and bring all of these down here. So when I play this, yeah, that happens. Let me see. Yeah, that happens. I think it's a bit slow to me. So let me extend these a little bit, just like these. I could just extend this. And that works. It looks weird because we haven't added any easing into it. So I'm gonna do that quickly. So I'll select all of these and go back here, and we're just gonna, I don't know why I changed this. Looks weird now. Just gonna apply that to it. So it looks better. Now it looks better. And for us to do the offset, what the plugin I use would be also on Motion 4. It's called Delay. So I click this. I just click the first one. Make sure it's selected on the right one and hold Control or Command on your keyboard. And we start to click the rest of the letters. So we don't click the first letter, we just click the last keyframe on the first one, on the first layer. So we do select everything else. And I'm gonna go to motion 4 and I'm gonna see delay. I'm sure it's stored here. So we're gonna hit delay and it's gonna say this to run delay. If you want to shy the layout, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna unselect these, but I'm gonna leave this first keyframe. So when we run that, so it's gonna get a little bit messy and we're gonna see it happen. You see that's really cool. It's coming in. It's coming in so cool. Yeah. That's the hack I use when I make text animation, guys. This tool, I'm telling you, this tool, it's it really. It's everything. So if you wanna increase or decrease, or if you like the speed of the delay is too much, we could just make it like say around 20. Let's see. So it's a bit faster and not slow. I think this works. I mean, you could, I think you can save it how you feel it's best, but I think this really works out. Okay, cool. Moving on to the next one. I'm gonna add the blur because that was the first thing. But before I do that, I'm gonna click that and click the last one. Just hit U on the keyboard so you collapse this and the things don't get pretty messy. And other thing too I like to do, so for all of the thing that has says text, we could always give it a unique color so you just identify what you're doing. So for the car video, let's say we give it red. For the car details, let's say we give it peach. For the color tag, we could give this or this color, and for this one I could just give it pink. Yeah, this is a good way to find some of the things. I like to use it especially when it's a lot of layers right here, so I could just find like something very similar in here. So when I see orange, I know that I'm clicking the text. Yeah, that's that. So the next thing is to add the blur. I'm gonna do that quickly. So we're gonna add the blur in this car video. So what I'm gonna do is to click that. I'm gonna go to effects and presets. We can search for this and we can just drop that in there. So I believe it is. So the blurriness, oops, let's not put that in there. I think we want this to be at the start of the video. So we're gonna start it from here and let's say around 1. Gonna put these to maybe around 40, around 54. I think that works really. Yeah, this looks good. You can use what you want. So this is what we did on the video. Okay, I'm just noticing this looks funny. Oops, the color tab I want to click. Where is it? Let me adjust this quickly. Cool. So we have everything in. Let me see. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do would be to rotate the cars. So somewhere around here, I'm gonna go to the 360 car and I'm gonna move these back here. This one I want this to happen. So what I want it to do, we're gonna mimic it in a way. We're gonna bring in that cursor folder you saw. So we're gonna bring it a hand, so it feels like someone is dragging the car. So, but what I wanted to do would be to drag it in here like this and then drag it back. So I'm gonna do this and try to bring this back. So somewhere around here works. What I'm gonna do is just to copy, so Control Command C, and I'm gonna paste here and extend this just a little bit. And I'm gonna drag this back to somewhere here because I believe this is the position we want it to look like, somewhere here. So let's see what it does. This is not moving. Someone drags it like this and bring it back like this. So that works. Let's save this. What I'm gonna do, just to know, is add like a marker here, so I know somewhere here the video begins. So just gonna hit the number add and add that in there, so I know. Oops, I don't want that to happen there. So let me go back to this. Should be somewhere. I shouldn't be selecting anything. It should be on there, so I know this is when the video starts and this is about when the video ends. You could also, if you don't know how to add these, you could just come up on here, click layers, markers, and you just see add markers, and you just add that in for you. Yep. You can also just give it a name too as well, like that. So end video, or end rotation. Oops. If you want it to have a name so it's easier, I feel this is easier. Begin rotation. We're gonna have that like that, end rotation, and let me just quickly put in the other one. So begin and around here is end. So now we know where it begins and where it ends, and when it begins and when it ends. That's what markers are good for. Okay. The next thing I'm gonna do would be to bring in that hand. So go back to project. We're gonna hit the cursor. The pointers I have, I believe, are this one. So from start, I'm just gonna put this in here. It's so small. So I think this is a good size. Let me like this a little bit. You could bring this up just a little bit. I think it's more obvious. I would say 175. I think it's good, or 150. Could be okay. No, I feel like it's really big now. I think this is okay. 120. Yeah. So I'm gonna hide it under the color tab. So we're gonna put that under there. So I want it to just kind of come out from here. So I'm gonna hit key and set that keyframe. So before it begins, I'm gonna set that keyframe there. And I think I'm gonna put one here. Let me see when the video stops. Somewhere here. And let me go to the last one, then I can move these somewhere here. So let's make sure the car. Let me see quickly. Where is it? Oops, it's the reverse. Sorry, let me get rid of this. So let me just get rid of this. Sorry, guys. Okay, click this back, and we're going to go back. I think somewhere here when the X appears, we kind of want it to come here. And on here, I'm just gonna move these. I'm gonna move these back to. Yeah, it's gonna be on this one. Move these back here. Let's see. Oops, that's really quick. That's really quick. Okay, that was really quick. Hmm. So let's fix things. I think you should pause here. Like, okay, let me just get rid of this. So for my idea is when this comes here, I think you should pause here just a little bit before I bring in the two side, even think about that. So somewhere here, the hand should begin. So what I'm gonna do is to move these just a little bit. I can always fix this. Then I'm gonna get rid of these. Let's move these before I add the markers back again. Let me fix the thing. So from here, I'm gonna back the position, make it around for 1 second. So 4 9 about here, and I'm gonna move it here. Let's see. I think that's okay, and then we begin the rotation here. Oh, okay, put it here, and for this one will be here. So I'm gonna move these two first. Move these, and just gonna put these back here. And this one is here, and I'll bring this here. And the last one is here. And I'm gonna move this here. Easy. So that happens. And then we're gonna bring in the other pointer. I think is this one is to grab. So let me rename this quickly to grab, and we call this one. You call this one select. Yeah, select, grab, anything works really. So I'm gonna just put that on that here and give it sort of the same sizing. We gave it 120, and what I'm gonna do is to extend it so it comes in when I want it to come in. So put that, make sure it's close enough there. And what I'm gonna do simply here, from here, I'm gonna hit T on my keyboard to bring in opacity. Just moving this one frame. I'm gonna click this. So what I just simply did is to hit control and the right arrow key to move things just one frame. So I'm gonna click that and take this out here. Enter and just hit 0. So that one comes in. So this is what I'm doing really. So when it comes here, I feel the video comes too fast. So I want it to take time before it drags. So when it comes like this, maybe around here, the video should play. I'm sorry guys, I know I keep adjusting the time, but most time this is what you do when you're working. You need to play with the timing. I think I want the video, I want it to do this, and then the video starts to play. So maybe just a little bit. Then this works. Yep. Okay, let me fix this back quickly again. So when that happens, let's see. because I'm zoomed in, it looks weird. But when I zoom this out, look, it's just really fast. So now that I have this, so from here, I'm gonna add in this in my keyboard. So the P. So I'm just gonna make a really rough movement for this, so it kind of feels real. So around here, I would want it to kind of move. Let me look at the rotation. So if we're dragging, it means I'm dragging towards this side. I want my hand to kind of like go like this, so it feels like I'm dragging it. So that kind of looks like I'm dragging. Let me see when it's zoomed out. Yeah. So it's just going with these, and from here, just gonna add one more here. Moving, you see the markers are really helpful. Now I know where to put in my timeline and put this here, hit position, and we're gonna drag it back. So what I'm gonna do is to just move this manually back to the right, but not the same spot, but somewhere here works. Let's see that. Oops, I was supposed to end it here. Somewhere here. Why does it feel weird? Hold on. Let me get rid of that. So I'm saying when this happens, let me move this here then. Undo it here. Yep. So we're just gonna go like this now. Yeah. Yeah. So that works. Let's see. This is good. So the next thing I'm gonna do when that happens, I want this to change. It should be the one finger. I'm just gonna go this one finger and bring this inside. Kind of put it in. So hit S again to increase this to 120. So they're like of the same size. So it's kind of tiny, but maybe say 140. And put these just so it fits like this, and the same thing, make sure it starts somewhere here. I'm gonna move these here, and for this one, same thing, hit T, control or command arrow, move one one frame, and add the keyframe and hit 0, so that goes away. That happens. So when that happens, it just means we've stopped rotating. So from here, I want this to move down. Gonna hit P back again. And what I'm gonna do would be to click that, and somewhere around, let's say we're 10, 12. So I always pay attention to this. So this is 10, 12, and I want it to be 11, 12. That's just basically adding 1 second. After 1 second, I want these to move into the color. So we select these. Oops. But I just found out is this selected isn't supposed to show yet. So let's get rid of these for now, and then we put it back when we select these properly later. Okay. I believe this is, let me move this in here because I can't see. This has to be here. Yeah. We want to click these. Maybe let's move this a little bit here. Move this a little bit here, and when we hit that, this box, that sort of happens. So maybe somewhere here, when we move this in here, I'm gonna hit this. What we're gonna do is to maybe when it gets here, I'm gonna click and I'm gonna make this feel bouncy. So I'm gonna go to the color tab and select really this one, and I'm gonna select this one. I think just this one should. I'm gonna just select these. Let me go back here. I believe it's this one. So let's say around here. I'm gonna open the scale. So hit S. There's at 100 after 10 frames. So 10 frames would be 12, 17. So you can just hit Control on the arrow till we get to that. And then we're gonna click this and make the scale 90. And after 5 frames, 3, 4, 5. If I want to get these to 110, and after 5 frames, again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I want it to go back to 100. So this is a good way to make like a bouncy kind of click interaction. So what I do for the easing, I could just easily do this. So for this first two, one, I'm gonna highlight this, go to flow, and we could do, let's do cube it out and hit apply. And for this two, let's do the same thing as well. So I'm gonna check that out now. Let's see. I mean, this was really fast. This feels too fast. Okay, let me get rid of this. Let me do this the normal way. I don't know why my grabs has been really messed up with it. It looks really weird than usual. Okay. So for the first one, I would like if gonna extend this. I'm just gonna do this manually. Extend this to 85, 84, 85. So select this one. Gonna push that to 85. Same thing for here. Gonna move these to 85. Yeah. This feels better. So I'm just gonna do this manually. I think this feels bouncy enough. So let's go back to here and see. When it clicks, that just kind of happens. Yeah. So when that happens, I do want this to come back. I know I did hide something before. I believe it's this. So I'm just gonna mark these, that when this happens around, so the moment this happens, so from here to 10 frames, I know that's what it is. Let's go back here, and I'm gonna have the opacity and just move these two. Okay, 10 frames really around here. I want these to be at 0. Let's see. Because it feels too fast, we're gonna make it really quick. Let me go back here and make this really quick. And it shows like that. Yeah. I think it's better it shows when that pop-up happens. I'm just thinking it's still feeling really weird to me. I'm just gonna do this. Let's move this just a little bit here. Let's see. It happens when that happens. Yep. This is good to go. So one more thing. You see, when we have these, I want the card to change. So what I'm gonna do here would be this is when I want the card to change. So what I'm gonna do here is to add a marker here, and we're gonna go to the car, actually add another one here. So I know I'm gonna bring in the other red car that I have. Okay. So I just brought in the card. So I'm just gonna call this red car. So it's easy to see. I'm gonna put that in there and give it the same size. I believe it's 175. And we want to make sure, I'm not sure this fits where I had it. Except I have to move the video just a little bit. So I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna bring these back. So what I'm gonna do is this. Move these. So it fits like that. So that's the trick. That's the hack. So I said I want that to happen here. Okay. Then I'm gonna move these here. So we're gonna create the max just like how we did on Protopie. So I'm gonna go to layer, max. Oops, I don't need to do that. Just gonna go here. Do this. And it's gonna be for the red car. I'm just gonna select that. And I'm gonna just make a max this big. Like to center the max. We just put these here and make it something like this. So what I'm gonna do here now, let's call the max part, and let's say around 1 second. We can move these. We can move these here. Okay, we do have it here. So what I'm gonna do here would be to move these. Oops. I'm just gonna move these down. Just to move it down here. From here, and when it gets here, yeah, I want it to go back. So kind of like this. So that's really good. I'm also gonna add the max opacity for that one, and I'm gonna make these at 17. Yeah, this looks good. Let me go back to see. Let's see. Click that, and that changes. Looks nice. Looks really, really nice, guys. Okay. I think the last thing on this is gonna be the last thing on the tutorial which would be to make sure the price adds up, because I believe when we hit the red, it's supposed to add up by 150. dollars. So that's what we're gonna do now. So somewhere here, I believe we had it. So I'm gonna just open this. Click here and yeah, so we get here right now is at this. So what we want to do first is to go to effect and presets. We're gonna search for point control and we're just gonna drop it on top of the text and you can see this here. So you see the stopwatch here. What we want to do is to press hold alt and you just left click on your mouse. Get rid of this caps lock. Yeah, so that opens up. So what I'm gonna do, you see the pick quick, I'm gonna drag these and make sure you stick it to these and you can see this expression box opened up. I already have the expression saved, so don't worry. What I'm simply gonna do is to copy that into here and I'll be dropping it in the description down below for you guys to use. So I just paste all the expressions. You can see it kind of looks different. So what it just simply says to add a dollar at the front and Math.round, which is the values, and to add a comma. I did add this one there myself because we'll be adding up to 1,000. So we'll need that separation or number break. So moving on, what I'm gonna do here would be gonna click these and just let me go back and add those markers I did have here. So it started in 1311 and 1412. So I'm gonna go here and add the same thing here too as well. And I think around 1412. I'm gonna add the other one. So I know here if I grab this and extend this, I could add just the keyframe here and I could add another one here. For the first one, I believe the values okay, that went away. So 30,769. That's what we're gonna have there. 30,769 would be the first one. And then for the next one, would want to add it by 150, which is 30,919. Let's see. Yeah, that's basically it. Easy peasy. Don't worry about this too much. It's not in complex. I'll be adding the expression again and use it to make our money count up like this, which is really cool. Okay, let's look at this back. Let me save this. Play. So that happens. That changes. That looks good. I feel like it really went as the color changes. This changes, which looks really good. So let's go back and replay this. Oh, I noticed the cursor is showing, so we don't want that to happen. So at third, I'm gonna create one here quickly. I'm just gonna take this off. This one, just make it 0 for here so it's not showing. But then it comes back when the hand, yeah. So let's play this back. We have this, the text comes up, the hand comes, it drags to the right, rotates, drags to the left, the car rotates, the finger comes up, it's red. Oops. Oh, this hasn't rendered it. So if you have this issue, sometimes it will change the resolution to half or a third. I'm gonna go back to full and I'm just gonna do this so it kind of loads in properly. Let's play that one more time. So the big text, and we have the cursor rotating to this, rotating to the other angle, and we click the red, and the color changes with the money too. as well. Let's go. Let me end the video. Let's say around 20 seconds. Just gonna hit N on your keyboard. So you just kind of cut off the timeline. And let's see it again. And guys, this looks really cool. So we do that there, and then when it rotates, we do that there. And click the car, changes with the money changes as well too. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, guys, we've come to the end of the web UI animation series. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like Protopie or do you like After Effects? If you have any question, feel free to drop them below and I'll be answering every single one of them. Thank you, guys. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye.